I am back with a updated Asvab video. I received my very first thumbs down yesterday, and I was like, dang! It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, but it's okay, whatever. My last Asvab, well, really I took the PICAT. So the PICAT is a untimed, unmonitored test. You could take it wherever you want to, but the only thing is you have to go down to MEPS and take a verification test. And I didn't mention in the last video, but the verification test is the exact same questions that are on the test that you took. So they just want to make sure like you didn't cheat. I had to take another Asvab. I passed my first time, but I got a 54. My recruiter wanted me to get a little bit of a higher score. I'm going into the Air Force. The minimum score for the Air Force is a 36. That is the minimum score that says you're qualified to join, but that may not be a good score for a job that you want. I did have these scores listed in my first video. Somebody commented on the video and was like, no, these are wrong. You have to get a 50 for one, you got to get a 60 for the other, you got to get a 20 for the other. No, the ones that I listed on my last video were absolutely correct. My previous video, I'm gonna link it. If I find out how to link it, I don't really know how to do that, but I'm gonna link it somewhere so you guys can go check that first video out. Excuse me. Since my first test, I've been studying, I've been taking the time out to actually do the problems. I went and bought a book. So the book that I got is this Passkey to the Asvab, 9th edition. And this is a pretty good book because not only does it have like practice tests in it, but it has so you'll have the practice test and then the answer key, and on every question they like explain what the answer is and explain how to do it or why you like got it wrong or got it right. So it's pretty good to know like how to do certain questions. And then they also have like a mini dictionary in here. So they have like prefixes and suffixes. Don't look at my nails. They have prefixes and suffixes, and then they have a little mini dictionary in here for the word knowledge. And for the math section, they have like just knowledge stuff. This is aside from the practice test answers and how to do them, but this is just knowledge stuff that you need to know. Triangles, circles, angles, all that stuff. So I did not mention in my last video that I do want to mention in this video. I wrote down some formulas and some conversions. I'm going to try to put a picture up of it. I'm not that iMovie savvy yet, so I don't really know. These are all important formulas to know. Excuse my son in the back, but all of these formulas were on my test. Feel free to pause, take a picture, write them down. But these are all important formulas that you do absolutely need to have and need to memorize. These are very important conversions that you also do need to absolutely know. Feel free to pause, write them down, or take a picture. Test taking techniques. I kind of went over a little bit on my last video, but I wasn't as thorough as I probably could have been or should have been. Make sure that you're understanding the meaning of every word that you read. For example, if a question says add all but one, or how many in total, or what is the product of, what is the percentage of, make sure you're just understanding those keywords. Always read all of the answer choices before you select an answer. So say you have two answers that are really close, like say one is 13.5 and one is 13.75. So if 13.5 is A and 13.75 is D, and you're working out your problem and you're getting 13, but you don't finish working it out, but you see 13.5, which is A first, but that's the wrong answer. You want to make sure you're reading all of them to make sure that you're not marking the wrong one, if that makes sense. Eliminate the choices that you know for sure are wrong. And process of elimination is like really key to this whole test. Very important tip. Be reluctant to change your answer. If you mark an answer that you think is the correct answer, but you're really looking at it and you're like, wait, that may not really be it. If you go back and you change, well, you can't go back, but like, you know, before you go to the next question, if you change your answer, you're more than likely going to change it to the wrong answer. Be confident in yourself. Statistics do show that when people do change their answer, they normally change it to the wrong answer. Go with your gut feeling. Your first answer is probably correct. I'm going to talk about like what you need to know for the math portions. I do want to list things that you should know. I listed this in my last video, but like I said, this is an updated version. I have taken the test twice. I passed the first time, passed the second time. I just wanted to get a higher score. So this is what you should know. Updated version. PEMDAS, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. You need to know PEMDAS for most, if not all, of the questions on the test. Whatever it is, use PEMDAS. You need to know prime and composite numbers. So prime numbers are numbers that can be divided evenly between one and itself and nothing else. So examples of prime numbers would be 2, 5, 7, 11. Composite numbers are numbers that can be divided evenly by one, by the number itself, and by at least one other number. So examples of would be 4, 6, 8. You need to know factors for sure. Factoring is going to be on there. I was never good with factoring in high school. I'm still not good at it now. I'm pretty sure I got all my factor problems wrong. So the exponents, like for example, 8 raised to the power of 0 is what? 8 raised to the power of 1 is what? Like, you need to know stuff like that. Know the reciprocal of things. So if you have 2 over 3, if you're doing a cross multiplication question and you have 2 over 3, okay guys, bear with me. I'm not good at math. I've never been good at math. I'm not a math tutor. I just suck at math. So if I say something wrong, don't jump down my throat. But okay, so if you have 2 over 3 times 3 over 2. I was doing a question like this the other day. They're the reciprocal of each other, so I think the answer is going to be 1. Yeah, the answer is going to be 1. So don't let that confuse you. Know the reciprocals and know like what they mean. Series and sequences. I was never good with series and sequences because I'm not really good with my multiplication tables. But just know how to get to the next number or whatever. There's no really trick or way to do it. You just have to know really like how much you have to multiply to get the next number, or divide or add or subtract, whatever. Know your fractions. Know how to change improper fractions to mixed numbers. Know how to change mixed numbers to improper fractions. So example, if you have 37 over 5, that's an improper fraction because the numerator is higher than the denominator. Like I said, I'm not good at math, so I don't know, but this is just how I get it. So if you have 37 over 5, the numerator is higher than the denominator, which means it's an improper fraction and you need to change it to a mixed number. So basically you're saying how many times the denominator can go into the numerator with how many left over, and you're keeping the denominator. Yeah. 5 can go into 37 7 times, which is 35, with 2 left over to equal 37. So your 7 is going to be your whole number, your 2 is going to be your numerator, and you're going to keep your denominator, which is 5. Know how to change fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. Know how to divide decimals. Know how to multiply decimals. Know anything there is to know about decimals. Percentages, for sure. Know your percentages. This is really important. It's right up there with PEMDAS. Know how to change your percent to a decimal. It's fairly easy to change a percent to a decimal in a quick way. I don't know different ways to do it, but the quickest way I do it is if I have 35%. The decimal goes at the end of the 5. All you gotta do is move the decimal place over in front of the 3. I know that for 1% to 9%, there's always going to be a 0 before the whole number. So 1% is 0.01, 2% 0.02, all the way up until you get to 10. And at that point, 10% is going to be 0.10. So anything before 10, you add a 0 in front of for your decimals and percentages. How to calculate interest. I have the interest formula on the formula sheet that I wrote on. Know the square roots. Know how to solve a quadratic equation. Know how to solve inequalities. I haven't taken math since my senior year of high school. I graduated in 2014. I took math. I went to college right after high school. I took math my first semester that I was there. I dropped my math class within the first 2 weeks because math and me just don't get along. So I just had to drop the class, and it is now 2019 and I have not taken math since then. I haven't seen this stuff for a very, very long time. So when you see it and the more and more you do it, you'll start to like remember how to do it or whatever. I didn't, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I cheated through math. Like, I cheated a lot. But know how to solve inequalities. And the most important thing to know for the inequality, when both sides of the inequality are multiplied or divided by a negative number, the inequality sign must flip. Know your lines. Know that a straight line is 180 degrees, right angle is 90 degrees, obtuse angle is obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees but less than 180. An acute angle is more than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees. Know your polygons. Triangle, 3 sides. Quadrilateral, 4 sides. Pentagon has 5 sides. So they are going to use those terms for sure. You need to know for sure. Know triangles. No, I don't think I mentioned this in the last one, but know the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You do have to use that pretty often. Know circles, like the formulas for circles, like the area of a circle, the circumference of a circle, diameter of a circle. All of that is going to be on the formula sheet that I'm going to put in. It's fairly easy, fairly simple, because once you come across a problem like that, literally all you have to do is plug in the numbers. Like write the formula out on top of the problem and then plug in the numbers. I mentioned this in the last video for word knowledge. None of the words that I studied were on the test, so I don't recommend studying whole words. What I recommend is that you study prefixes and study suffixes and study the root words, and that'll help you a lot. And it's basically kind of like context clues also. And I do know that on a lot of my word knowledge problems, I didn't know what the word that they were asking for meant, but I knew synonyms for the answers. So I went through and I just, eliminated all the ones that I for sure knew the synonyms to and could not be it, and I ended up getting the right answer. So that's a way to do it. Here are some prefixes. You can also pause this, jot them down, take a picture. These will be good to know. My next video that I'm going to record is going to be waivers. I had 3 waivers I had to get done. I'm not going to really talk about it in here because I want to make a separate video for that. But if y'all have any questions about waivers, I will be making a video about waivers next. So I had a moral waiver, I had a dependency waiver, and I had a financial waiver. So even other waivers, I know like the process of doing a waiver and waiting for the approval. So if you have any questions about those,